That's what the notification on YouTube says
Okay,
at 6:58 p.m. It's coming on.
we're live. Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 6 of Rapid Unscheduled Discussion. My name is Seth. This has been a crazy week. This week, all the launch providers have been in the news, and I'm here with my great co-host, Mr. Daryl Sausse.
Hello, my name's Daryl from, well, I guess from New Orleans, which some people surprisingly did not know. But yes, I am from this crazy drunken city, and we're all still hungover from Mardi Gras.
The whole state's
And we're not.
hungover.
Oh god, the whole state's hungover. Oh yes.
Everything's messed up.
Oh yes. But yeah, jumping right into stuff. Things that messed up today and just didn't go right. The whole world was watching the DARPA challenge of Astra trying to launch a rocket in a hurry from Alaska. Um,
Yeah, and that literally just ended maybe 2 hours ago. Like all that.
yeah,
I
something like
was
that.
waiting literally all day for this thing, and I spent almost my entire day at work watching this stream. Did very little work at all today, and ended up scrubbing. So, do you have the whole
Yep.
rundown? Do you have a tweet? You have the tweets from who had the whole rundown of what all happened today, which why it got pushed back, and then eventually why I got scrubbed.
Do I have it?
Yeah, do you have the tweet? I don't remember if you saw you had the tweet or not.
Oh, I didn't keep it up.
Oh, dang it.
I can find it.
So,
Uh,
yeah, first of all, they had to push it back due to, well, the space station flew overhead, and that's usually a big no-no for launching. They usually, it's like a huge radius that they block for launching if
yeah,
it's overhead.
kind of don't want to hit that.
Yeah, it's kind of like, you don't want to fly near that. NASA doesn't really get too happy. So that pushed it back, 30 minutes, I think it did, or something like that.
It's something like that. Well, they didn't know right off the bat, but I think it ended up being like 25 minutes.
First of all, I am very impressed with DARPA
Yes.
and their stream. Like, very impressed. Like, the music was good, the graphics were
To
good, the
hold
host
up.
was good.
Yes. Yes. The host. Oh God! All of a sudden, I can't think of his name. Let me see if I can hurry up and scroll through Chris G's tweets. Um, he actually used to call stuff on NASA. Like when I was growing up as a kid,
Really.
he would be calling stuff for like shuttle launches and stuff. I'm like, oh yeah, this is cool. Um, and I can't find his name. I want to say like Michael Caine, but I know that's wrong. Like the actor. But yeah, he was like really cool. But there was a the music. That's why I'm gonna back you up for a second. Uh, that music it ended up being basically like this. I have my screen shared right now. I don't know if you can see it. Um,
Yep. What's up?
this was basically it because it's a damn song the whole time. I'm
Yeah,
like,
they had like
I
two or three songs.
yeah, yeah. Zach Cromer tweeted out, "This is a song that never ends. It goes on and on, my friends. I'm getting it stuck in your head. Ha, sorry." No, that was basically what was going on with that. And when they cut it in a hurry, I'm sure a lot of people are like, "Oh, thank you." But yes, that's
It,
you basically just gave the rundown of things that happened with it.
yeah, they had an issue with the sensor, which
Yep.
called for a hold at about, I don't know, it was like 2 minutes 56 seconds. Or it was like, I think the issue was that
53.
it was that 1 minute, I think, when they said hold, but it didn't. They didn't actually hold the clock till T minus 53.
Yep,
Um,
53.
they had an issue with some hardware, I guess, on the actual rocket, and they went out there to the actual pad, fixed the hardware, and came back, which I don't think I've ever seen before. They do, unless maybe with
Oh,
the shuttle.
it's totally safe. It's
Totally,
totally safe.
it's not
Oh
just
yeah,
a
it's
completely
fine.
pressurized piece of metal with kerosene and liquid
It's fine.
oxygen that can combust at any moment, if it bursts.
They were probably like us. They were drinking. They said, it's fine. Let's go out there. What's the worst that could happen?
Yeah, it blows up. Nah, it's whatever. Then they had two. That was one issue that they found while during the whole. They had a third issue that I don't remember what it was exactly.
I think the weather started not cooperating, but all of that stuff it ended up piling up, and they ended up coming back and saying, a half hour before their cutoff point, they said, "Yep, we're done for today."
Yeah, we're calling it scrub.
And that ends up they lost the Astra, the company, lost the DARPA challenge because of that. Because this was their last opportunity.
It's looking like what I've seen from some of Chris G's recent tweets that they had a press conference of some sort, and that they said that if the data they got from the sensor was correct, it would have caused a problem with the launch. Winning the challenge would have been nice, but getting to orbit is the goal. So it looks like they're not going to get. Which I mean, I'm not sure how well funded they are, but $10 million. So this launch was going to be, if they launched it today successfully, would have been $2.5 million.
Yep.
If they would have done the second launch, I believe, would have been a total. They would have gotten another. What was it? 10 minus 2.5. 7.5. Yeah, sure. They would have gotten $10 million in the end, and that's like that makes or breaks a company, especially a startup.
Wait, didn't they have to do 3 launches, not 2?
Is it 3 launches? I thought it was 2 launches.
Well, the vehicle was named one of 3.
Yeah, this is their third launch attempt.
I mean, it's not like they named it after Star Trek or something like that.
This is their third launch attempt.
Yeah.
That's why it's 1 of 3, because I think it's like 60% or something like that fail.
It was something like that.
It was something like that, and then they named it 1 of 3. Hopefully that it would.
Yeah. So now they have said that they still want to try to launch relatively soon, not like weeks or months from now. Well, not months for sure, but it'll definitely be relatively soon is when they're going to try and do stuff. But the payloads that were on there, the small sats and whatnot that they had, have already been taken off and given back to their customers, according to tweets and whatnot. So they're still going to fly with something else on there, though.
They have another customer apparently that they're going to be within the next few weeks, not days. They said not days, not months, weeks. So, which is crazy. Like I'm actually kind of like this Astra came from no one knowing who they are to like low key being like one of my favorite new launch companies starting up right now, because like they literally just show up with a shipping container, with like 2 or 3 shipping containers.
Yep.
They have a launch pad right there. They just need concrete. That's all they need.
I mean, and this startup, I mean, nobody gave a damn about Astra until, somebody like John Krause went out to Alaska. Is like, I guess I better pay attention.
John Krause.
But this is like Rocket Lab. Nobody knew who the hell they were until they launched something. Yeah. And Astra got so close that everybody's going to pay attention to them now. Yeah. That's all you got to do is get something on a pad, and people will notice you.
It was John Krause and Brady Kensington, I think is the last name. How you pronounce it? Kennison. He actually was out there too, Brady. But I think he was actually out there for DARPA, and so he wasn't actually. I think he wasn't supposed to. He wasn't allowed to say, which makes sense because I haven't seen him on Twitter like at all in the past week until just recently, when I think they finally are like, okay, so now that Astra's out of themselves, it's this whole big thing. I guess you can say you're allowed. You're out here.
Well, we've got something else secret to talk about later on. But that's for later on when we get to it. We know when it's coming. We're gonna surprise the rest of y'all.
Yeah.
It's not that fancy.
My favorite part
about all that over it.
My favorite part about this stream though is like it's like they literally had the raw like mission control audio.
Yes.
And you can hear it. And when they went to the go no go, which I always, even with this company, I get chills. Every time there's a go no go, I get chills. And this is like the best part is that they get through and they're calling off all these people, and you have all the people, you have Fido and you have GNC, like GC, whatever, GNC, whatever. All these different people always get to just Ben. Ben go. And,
Ben, you good? Good.
Let me just show you this tweet because he actually finally. I fell in love. That was like the best part. Like I thought of the stream was that just cracked me right up. And apparently his actual call sign is called Evil Tango, but the launch controller is like can't get himself to actually call him Evil Tango on the launch, and so he
That
just
is great.
his name's Ben, so he just calls him Ben.
Oh, that is just the best.
And I'm not exactly sure what he does. I'm assuming it has to do with weather, since you can see on his console had the weather service stuff. But
National Weather Service. I can tell you, it's up in Alaska. It's cold.
it's definitely
What more
Kodiak.
do you need?
It's cold. It's cold now.
I
Actually,
watched Deadliest Catch. I know how cold it gets.
Alaska is actually not that bad. It's
No, it really isn't.
northern Alaska, yes. Arctic Circle, bitch, the bitch to live in. Barrow, Alaska. If you ever want to feel better about how, that's what I used to do in, like when I lived in Wisconsin, was you add Barrow, Alaska to your weather on your phone, and when you're like, oh my god, it's 0 degrees out, it's so freaking cold. You look at Barrow, Alaska, I'm like, okay, at least it's not negative 30.
Okay.
It's bad, but it's not negative 30 with like 8 feet of snow. So.
Well, don't get me wrong. When I drove through that snowstorm to get up to Virginia, the snow was great. The problem was it was in Atlanta. Ugh.
How do you see my screen?
Yes.
What do you feel about this shirt?
Oh, I saw that earlier. I'm like, yes. Y'all need to do a
I want
Rocket
that
Lab style shirt.
Yes.
Like how Rocket Lab did there. I never want to hold again.
I still need to buy that shirt. I think that might be the next shirt I get. But
good luck. It was a limited run.
Oh, was it a limited run? No.
eBay. You better look on eBay.
I thought I found it. I thought I saw it on their website not that long ago. But Ben Go. Like great. I love it. That was so great.
I mean, I'll look right now for you while we're talking, but I'm pretty sure that was a limited run. They do a limited run for all of their launches.
Yeah.
So, yeah, hats off to Astra for actually getting something on the pad and getting so damn close. You know, the community's going to be watching y'all now. You know, good job getting out there. It sucks about the DARPA project, but hey, you've got everybody's attention now.
I'm rooting for them 100%. This little company, I fallen in love with them. Like,
oh yeah,
absolutely fallen in love with them.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah, so next thing up is I guess we can talk about. It's like I said, almost all the launch providers were in the news. So Northrop Grumman, now it's not a launch, but it is their company as a whole. I don't remember when this launched, but it's mission extension vehicle.
Ooh, yeah.
Which came up, they launched it. It went up into the graveyard orbit. Slowly pulled up right next to this rocket, reached out, grabbed it from behind, pulled it in close, put its probe into his exhaust, and it's holding on tight. Oh god! Hope there's no children. I did put this stream as it's there's no content that's not for children, so we might get demonetized.
you know. Oh well, it was all funny.
I mean, I just look at this picture that it gave us of the vehicle with Earth in the background. It's just great. It blew my mind when I saw that.
Oh yeah, hey baby, I'm coming up to you.
All right, next before we get demonetized, we're on to the next story.
Before we roll on, just insert generic sex joke about satellites here. There you go. Barry White coming up behind you. My darling, I can't get enough of your love, baby.
Next launch provider in the news was, I think we all know about SpaceX.
Really? Who's that?
Speaking of blowing up.
Jesus, Seth. Woo. And I've been working on watching my mouth on the show, and then you go and do stuff like that.
Oh, we're done. It's done.
Oh yeah. It's
what
done.
What do you mean? I'm talking about things going boom boom. Which was let me pull it. I guess I'm just gonna keep on sharing my screen. Why not?
Why not? I mean, I'm only gonna see it on the YouTube stream, which I got muted right now. Just give it a sec. I'll see it. Go ahead and talk.
So sadly, their Starship blew up. SN1. They pulled it out to the pad. They were testing the cryo, and it just popped its top. Gosh, it's another horrible
so much speculation about what was going on with it, but we could sit here and make an entire episode about this until we're blue in the face, and
My favorite.
We're not gonna do that.
Yeah, I had no idea. It's like probably a weld felt, but this thing blew up. Like this thing blew up.
Oh yeah.
Oh no, me saying again blew up. It's the second time I said that.
People are speculating about the holes and things like that.
Yeah.
Some people said ULA sniper, which who
wait,
knows?
was Wayward napping again? Because she said when Amo 6 blew up, she was napping.
Wayward.
Wayward.
You gotta wake up for things like this.
She's in the chat too. She's probably gonna yell at me. Why is it not? I want to play this. Like Twitter's frozen. But so when I saw that it was live, S Padre said that it was live, and I'm like, oh, let me go check it out. And I get to the stream, and I'm like, where's Starship? I'm like, it says you're on Starship, but there's no Starship there. Wait, did you watch this live or?
Did I?
Yeah.
No.
Okay. Because like
I don't know, but the video I saw was actually Maria Pointer's video. She, in my opinion, she had the better one. She had the better one.
Here's another one. This one's just like it. Oh gosh, where's the tweet? Where's the tweet?
Uh-oh. Which tweet?
Still higher than SLS has ever flown.
Wayward, you're not directly responsible. You're just saying. That's all. That's all.
Low key though, I replied with the the guys going back in their seat going, damn.
Damn.
Low key, my most liked tweet.
Damn.
What the hell? Of all my tweets, I make great tweets. I put out great content. This tweet gets 75 likes, which I think I've gotten over 100. I think my tweet when I was at the AHS 5 social when I did the whole pointy end up,
Yeah.
flaming end down.
Yeah.
Tim retweeted that and that got like 500 likes or something like that. Like that.
Nice.
That one was blowing up my phone, but that was like the retweet, not my actual tweet. Yeah, like what? But yeah, like I got to the stream and I'm like, wait, why is this not here? What happened? Like, and all of a sudden I see like the light shining off the metal, and I'm like, oh no, oh no.
Jeez.
And some other people who were saying, oh no. We're talking about Port Isabel, this great CBS article I found.
Oh yes.
First of all, this article has no what's the term? Credibility, because they don't know how to spell SpaceX.
Jeez.
Space X. That's how they spell it with 2 words. SpaceX is 2 words. Apparently, Port Isabel is a big city. It's just north of Boca Chica, of the launch pad of the SpaceX facility, and it's a decent size. I mean, it might have a small population, but like it's probably the size of like Cocoa Beach area.
If
like,
that.
Yeah.
It's
a pretty. I mean, it's a major city. It's probably the biggest city nearby.
That's a very generous stretch.
That's
a lot of credit you're giving that little city.
But it's right on the river. They actually have this really cool, like, like in Abu Dhabi they did that like palm tree thing with.
Oh yeah, that little island.
Yeah, Port Isabel copied them. You can look on Google Maps and they even have a little palm tree thing.
Hold up. I got maps open for something else later, but I gotta see this.
Yeah, it's great. But basically, the people of Port Isabel aren't too happy. I'm not sure if this article talks about everybody on in the town, but this definitely is some people in the town, especially the county or the city manager, who's like I guess the representative to the county for the city of Port Isabel.
They like half-ass copied it.
Yeah. Do you have it open on your screen? No, you don't.
Yeah, I found it.
Yeah, they half-ass copied it. But yeah, no. Like here's one of the quotes. They said like, well, what they continue to confirm is that there was a cryogenic explosion, which obviously SpaceX isn't going to tell you what happened because they
Right.
probably don't know what the hell happened.
Right.
And so
Yet they're already chopping it up.
This came out like the day after. What they've indicated is that due to the nature of which tank exploded and what direction explosion, like Port Isabel got a really big bang because I guess the direction of it just traveled right to that city.
Yeah.
And so the county indicated that they will now be having on-site personnel at the launches or the tests to ensure that SpaceX is doing what they should be doing, and that any information that's released following the incident is accurate.
Wah.
It's just gosh, guys,
I mean,
why?
I don't know. For one thing, whoever wrote that article, yes, I've glanced at it since Seth and I have been talking about it. Did this person come from like Business Insider or something like that?
Probably.
They had to have.
It does
they
not
had to
seem
have
like the
picked
person writing this article is a fan of SpaceX. It does not seem like the people who they've talked to are a fan of SpaceX. Which, I mean, okay. I can understand why people are upset.
You know what it is? That news station is probably out of Brownsville. Okay, since that's like the biggest like city close by, they came out of Brownsville. So that's probably where that CBS is, but still it's
Did you say CVS?
Yeah, that was from a CBS affiliate.
Oh, I thought you
right?
said CVS. I'm like, no, it's CBS.
No. CVS is what we use. We use their receipts as a unit of measurement of distance between the Earth and the Sun. It takes 9 CVS receipts to reach from the Earth to the Sun. Did you know that?
No, I did not, but I can believe it.
Not 9 CVS receipts to reach. But anyway, I honestly I think this article is reaching for something that just isn't there.
Yeah, it
really is.
They think that I don't think they think that SpaceX is being honest with them. They think they're being secretive. They're ruining their way of life, which well, that's what they think they're doing. Which okay, we talked about it before the stream that Boca Chica is very different from the starting of Cape Canaveral or Vandenberg, because Vandenberg is an Air Force base. They can do what the hell they want there. It's Air Force base.
Yeah.
Like, you're not going to tell the Air Force no. And they're pretty secluded as well. Cape Canaveral started many years ago. Mm-hmm. There was no one there. It was just swampland with a single little lighthouse there, which was owned by the federal government, so they can just, all right, we're already owning land, so that's easy.
And who wants to live in a swamp anyway?
Yeah, and then people move to the goddamn swamp.
Oh, God.
They're like, who's going to live in a swamp? Everyone wants to live in a swamp.
No, we don't.
But
no, we do not.
And so, like, and then they come here and they're moving into an already established area. Yeah, it's great and everything. Like, space is doing good. I can understand why they're a little upset. But
a little.
I mean, we want to go to Mars, so there's gonna be some sacrifice, and the luck has chosen you. So you must sacrifice for the greater good of the humankind. Get over it.
Yeah, like what was that? What was that Simon Pegg movie? Hot Fuzz, where all the townspeople were like the greater good. This is all part of the greater good. That's what it is. This is going to be an economic boom for that town, and
we'll see. We'll see what it turns out. I mean,
like I said,
it won't be as big as Cape Canaveral because it's just going to be SpaceX, and SpaceX kind of already has things set up for them. They're not. It's going to help the town immensely. But I mean, like Boca Chica Village, like that is. There's no one going to be living in Boca Chica Village anymore. So.
Right.
Yeah.
But again, that article is reaching for something that isn't there, and we spent too much time on it. To hell with that article.
You know what else is absurd?
What?
Hold on, let me just wait this to load. Wait for it. Wait for it.
Where am I watching at?
Ah!
Am I watching? Not on Skype.
No, not on Skype. Sorry, I'm not sharing my screen with you anymore. My bad.
No,
Here you go.
Sharing is caring, buddy.
Sharing is caring.
Yay! Are you sharing it with the folks at home too?
I am sharing with the folks at home because we care about our
Share with the
folks at
class.
home. We
Oh,
love you
that
guys.
thing.
This
That
is
thing.
just, I look at this and I'm like, this is just the most absurd thing I think I saw. I went on Twitter. I'm like, hell yes, I want this.
It is,
Yes.
but all right. So I'll go ahead and take the lead on this. They talked about making a vertical integration tower because
late.
one of the hamstrings of the Falcon 9 is that its payloads are mounted horizontally in the uh, facility that they have. Because suddenly I couldn't remember the alphabet soup that refers to it, the something something integration facility. And there are some payloads that you cannot mount horizontally. They have to be mounted vertically on a launch vehicle. And that's kind of been a hamstring for SpaceX. So here you go. They're going to make
Mhm.
this rollaway tower, kind of
It's-
like what ULA has for their Deltas.
I have fallen in love with 39A. Sorry.
Oh, yeah.
My favorite
They,
pad to this date has been 37 because it has a fucking moving building.
oh, yeah. Like a,
Now
what,
SpaceX has a
37-story building?
now SpaceX has a moving building too.
Oh yeah, and I mean, there's already a lot going on at 39. You know, you get 9 and heavy launches. You're getting crewed launches out of there. There's going to be Starship launches out of there,
Mm-hmm.
and now you're going to have this, so you can
Which
mount payloads on a 9 or a heavy
now
vertically.
another thing in this picture is that is what I believe is an extended fairing. That is not the normal size fairing.
I believe you're right about that.
Yes, that's a massive ass fairing. Which I thought.
Thank you, Harry. Thank you, Harry. Horizontal integration facility, because
No,
we don't
driving
have
moving
enough
building.
crazy acronyms.
I like the moving building. We need
Yeah,
the government loves 3-letter acronyms.
Oh God! Imagine if I follow through with my backup plan and join the Air Force. Jesus, it's gonna be a nightmare. But yeah, they're gonna be mounting stuff vertically now, so that they can pick up some Air Force contracts,
Yeah.
and
Now,
they're gonna directly compete with the likes of ULA,
mm-hmm.
because up until they do this, they don't have that capability, and that's a capability that the military needs.
Now, depending on where they move this, I'm not sure how. This is obviously in, I don't know what point of where this building is. If they move it, if this is where it's for how far back it's going to be.
Nope.
This
I can tell you exactly what's going to happen. You ready for this?
I'm ready
You ready
for
for
it.
this? I'll do my little explainer. Time for me to do some screen sharing. You ready, kids? Here we
Hold
go. Is it? Do you see it?
Yeah, you want to move me out of the frame first, though? Okay, there we go.
Oh, gladly. All right. So I'm just kidding. Love you, Seth. So
It's okay. I'm still in frame because I have my own webcam there. So I think it's called narcissism.
Oh, let me school you in that one day later. So this is 39A and B, which we're all familiar with. We're not going to worry about B. Let's zoom in on A. So the horizontal, well, somebody called it assembly facility, but whatever.
Whatever.
What they do is you have your launch vehicle mounted to the strong back, as they call it. They roll it out, SN pointing to the pad, and you can actually see it too with the strong back laid down.
Mm-hmm.
So what they do is they roll it out like this, and if you notice, it's on rails kind of on either side, and it just makes a straight line right into that building. So what it does, they roll it out, they stand it up. On the back side of it over here is where they're going to have that rollaway building.
Mm-hmm.
And what it's going to do is it's just going to roll straight in to the south and cover it up, mount your payload, do whatever, and then it's going to go, all right, I'm out of here, see you, and back up this way and get out of our way for launch.
And I just noticed something. So that's
What's
the
that?
exhaust. The exhaust is at the top.
Yes. Well,
this might
goes
block.
both ways.
Oh, it just go both ways. That's never mind. Okay.
It
I thought it was just a one-way exhaust, and I'm like, dang it, this is gonna block out exhaust shots from like 528 or from the boat because that's gonna be in the way of exhaust. But so they can't.
It's not going to be in the way to boat. It's not going to be in the way to boat because
I just realized what.
Pads,
Yeah.
these two pads, A and B, were designed to where they were oriented both, straight north and south. They're not on any kind of angle or anything like that. Thank you, Tim Dodd. I learned that from your video. They're angled to where these trenches, they line up both north and south. So, anything straight north, I mean, you go straight north a few football fields and you're in the water. Yeah. Straight south, let's just go straight. Straight south is right to the port.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's like straight south.
It's definitely going to make it easier to see 39A from distance.
Yeah, you're still going to be fine on the boat. You're still going to be fine on the boat.
Well, you haven't been at 528, but from 528, you can see the black building pretty easily. The black tower.
I have. We watched STP2 from there.
Oh yeah, that's right. You were with me at STP2.
I held that spot for like 13 hours.
Much appreciated.
You're welcome.
You're my homeboy.
Homies for life. It's really not going to impact any kind of viewing opportunities or anything like that. If anything, it's going to add to it. If you're watching something from Banana Creek, the Saturn V Center, it's going to, add to it. If you're watching from the, observation gantry after you sign the waiver, which sign that waiver, it'll be even crazier. I would gladly sign that waiver.
Here's another. Here, I'll switch to my screen. Here's another picture that I have from their. I guess it's from their environmental thing, or I don't know what it is, but their environmental study for their next proposal. Assessment. Yeah. It rolls in. It covers up the rocket. So it's very similar to I'm really interested. I really can't wait. Cannot wait till I get to move up there. I'm actually been thinking about this. I want a condo or apartment on the ocean side where I can see the space, like all the launch pads, and just get a camera and put my 150 to 600 on there and just do a live stream 24/7 from on the port. I can see the port and on the Space Coast, point it right at Blue Origin's launch pad and just watch them work all day.
That's going to be some money right there.
That would be just great. I would love to do that, and put it on 39A, when there's still I'm not sure how if you'll be able to see it well, but static fires, just throw a 24/7 live stream on 39A or 40, then you'll get it every time because you'll just be live the entire time. Though I don't know if there's any apartments that are actually can actually see that from there. But,
no, it's all hotels.
Yeah, I think
so you're gonna have to perpetually rent a hotel.
Yeah, hopefully I'll make a bunch of money. I think there's some apartments though that you can see the port from. So that would also be interesting. Just have a live stream on the port the entire time.
Yeah.
But I gotta find a job that lets me work up there first. So.
Yeah.
Step one.
But yeah, they're taking a page out of ULA's playbook and doing a giant moving building, which hey, cool.
Speaking
that's all I gotta say.
Of ULA and giant buildings, my favorite. I watched this video and I was literally having nerdgasms while watching this video because I fall in love with Vulcan.
Boy, I hope you cleaned up.
What? Oh yeah, okay.
Oh,
I have fallen in love with Vulcan. Vulcan's my greatest. I love it. And we had a great video by Smarter Every Day. I almost made my tweet. I almost tweeted at Everyday Astra instead of Smarter Every Day.
Oh, he would have been mad.
Oh, so mad. I would have deleted that tweet, and I'm like, no one saw it. It's fine. Everything's fine.
Yep.
Where he got to tour their decanter facility. This was probably back.
Wait, their what?
Decanter.
Decatur.
Decatur?
Decatur. Decatur, Alabama.
I hate the South so much. You guys pronounce things so stupidly.
Oh, that's an episode for another day.
Yeah, we have the name.
We've had that discussion.
So this was a great video. we learned so much about Vulcan and about, well, like we all know about Atlas and we all know about Delta, but like we got to see the factory, which is freaking so cool to see. But we learned a lot about Vulcan, like 30% more. It's 30% more capable. I'm not sure. I don't remember the exact quote if it's payload like capacity or payload launch to LEO, whatever it is. But 30% more capable than Delta 4 Heavy.
Yep.
And remember, and this thing is a little bit wider than a Delta core.
Yep.
We'll have 6 symmetrical SRBs, which
Yep.
sucks, but it's okay.
It up to 6, not
up
always
to 6.
6.
Yeah,
up
not
to
always.
6.
Up to 6.
It'll be like Atlas 1 through. Well, Atlas does up to 5, I believe. They don't do all 6.
They do 5. They don't do 6 yet.
Right.
I do hope they do have though like a asymmetrical like version of it.
I'm sure they will.
Because it's so much fun to see. They'll be like, "Oh, we got the super slider, yeah."
Somebody's got to do a launch commentary like that. Like somebody's got to do like a motorsport style commentary of a launch.
So you want to do that for SciCon? I already do the live stream for SCLA on Twitter when I'm up there. So you know what?
I'm actually going to be out there photographing SAOCOM because I need to get a photo of a booster landing because that's right now at the top of my list. And I will be practicing at CRS 20. But yes, for those kind of AEHF is coming up, and that is going to be a 551.
Yeah, the big boy.
Yeah, the big boy.
Which oh, so psyched. That I'm not going to that one, but like this is like, hey, I went to AHF 5 media, like AHF 6. Yeah, I know, I understand that. Like, because we got the whole briefing by the by the Air Force about it all, which is super super cool. Yeah. What else did we learn? Oh, okay. So Vulcan is going to be flight like they're going to verify all the parts by flying it on Atlas.
Yeah. They're going to piece by piece fly it all on Atlas.
It's just like
more or less
super coolest thing ever. I think he said that everything will be flight tested except for the BE4 engine. Everything.
Yeah.
Everything.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So I think they're already planning on what a certain mission is going to have the Vulcan payload variant already, which which I thought was just so fucking so baller when he just said in the video that yeah, so we usually get our payload variants built by a company in Switzerland, and I convinced them to move into right next door.
Well, what I wanted to know was, did he like get all those people to move over there? Did they open up a second facility at their place, or did they just say, all right, screw all you people in Europe? Or RUAG, not ULA, let's be clear. Did RUAG say, all right, we're shutting down this facility over here in Europe and we're just opening this one up in here, and sorry, y'all are out of a job? I hope they did not do that.
I don't think they I don't know if they shut down the one in Switzerland. I highly doubt they do, because I think that's the same company that does like Aragon, I think. I'm not 100% certain, but it makes sense they're in Switzerland. But
if in doubt,
I
go
think
to their website.
I think they opened up a new place right next. Literally, I think they just extended their facility to include.
They like have their own room off to the side.
Yeah, it's like a grandma suite.
Yeah. But it looks like nope, they're still set up in Switzerland. Okay, they opened their own place in Decatur, Alabama. Oh no, it's Decatur. There you go. Good job, Seth. They opened up their own place
now. I'm still calling it Decatur.
And yeah, through the video you get to see all kinds of stuff. Like, it starts out first thing right off the bat is you see like the ISO grid and the ortho grid. It's two different designs.
The difference between ISO grid and ortho grid is that
triangles and squares.
It's triangles and squares. So they've taken it's like a inch and a half or so thick.
Yeah, fairly thick.
It's about an inch. Let's just say inch for simplicity. It's an inch thick, like massive sheet of aluminum. And back when they've designed Atlas, their engineering tools were only good enough to say that an ISO grid, which was triangles, was their best, most efficient way of doing it. was pretty much CNCing out this grid on the other side of, because you can't just have an inch thick piece of aluminum as your frame of your rocket. That's like way too heavy, and because remember it's every kilogram, I believe, on the booster. No, every 7 kilograms of the booster takes up 1 kilogram on the payload.
Yes.
Yeah. And then so they take it, they CNC it out, so it pretty much it leaves like these little triangle patterns on the back, so it gets rid of like 80% of the weight while keeping like 90% of the strength. Like it's something stupid. Like you learn that like that's just breaking physics. That shouldn't be allowed. But it's some stupid number like that. But the tools have gotten better.
It is crazy.
Yeah, the tools have gotten better, that it's better and it's faster to do an orthogrid, which is just squares. So it's a simpler pattern that CNC out, and it's just better. You get to keep more strength, take out more weight, and that's what's going to be on Vulcan. I'm assuming they're going to make an Atlas version of that and fly that. It makes sense.
Yeah, kind of.
If they're going to fly everything but the BE-4 engine, I'm assuming that means tanks. And that means the Centaur 4? I believe Vulcan's flying with the Centaur 4?
I forget the specifics like that, but it'll be doing something.
When in doubt, Wikipedia it
out. Yeah. But yeah, that was like the first thing. Then you see them bending the stuff into shape, then chemically treating it. Funny thing that came up, the kind of gold bronzish look of an Atlas V, it comes from that chemical treatment. After a while, it ends up start having that bronzish color after that chemical treatment. That's where it comes from.
Yeah.
After that, he went on and saw the Centaur upper stages being put together, some in a 1 configuration, some in a 2 configuration, even saw the one for the Mars 2020 lander being put together. So that was pretty cool.
I stand corrected. Centaur 5.
Oh.
Yeah. Which I believe the Centaur 5, it says Centaur 5 uses 2 RL-10s. So I think that's what you heard in that live stream, is that anything with a Vulcan is going to have 2 Centaurs. Those are 2 RL-10s.
Oh, okay.
It says Centaur 5, 2 RL-10s. Don't quote me on that, because I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. But then it also says Aces has been 2020, but we don't know anything. Everything's super tied up, like, about Aces. No one's saying anything about Aces. Which is so confusing, because I feel like Aces is such a cool concept.
Well, it could have been in that video, but ULA had to take all of the memory cards, look them over and whatnot, and then give them back to Destin. So
that was a great joke by Tori. Was like, and that's why we're taking your cards.
and then he did the whole so I can't look over here, and swings the camera out and blurs
and
it
then it's completely blurred out. Yeah.
but that's also really cool of them to be able to let that joke fly. And
he's walking,
like
he's like, so I can't look over there. Yes, I can't look over there. Yes, can I point straight up? Yes. Okay, awesome.
And they did show off how they use one of my favorite manufacturing techniques, even though I don't know much about manufacturing, friction stir welding, which I first got introduced to years ago when they were talking about doing it on SLS out here at NASA Michoud here in New Orleans, building the core stage of it. They use friction stir welding.
I'm so confused on really friction. Cool process. It's super cool, and I don't understand it one bit. It's like I understand that it's friction, so like that thing moves. It heats it all up. It softens it, but it merges it. But I'm like, it doesn't melt it. But I'm like, wouldn't you think you have to melt it to fuse it together? But apparently not. I am just a lonely software engineer that knows nothing.
So it heats it up enough to where it gets more malleable, and you can basically mix it together like a cake batter in a bowl. But it doesn't heat it up so much and melt it where it changes its metallic properties and whatnot. It does it just enough to where it like stretches it, literally stirs it and mixes it together, and boom, you have a weld. It's really cool stuff.
We'll talk about that later. But doesn't that, when you see the edge piece of it, it looks like there's a hole in the middle.
It does, but
So it's
That is the end of the weld because it does
okay.
kind of compress it and stretch it a smidge. And if you noticed, if you looked at that weld where you saw that extra edge in there, it was also kind of not even with the rest of the edges of the tank. So what it did as the stir happened, it came down and kind of pushed, and you get a little bit that kind of pushes out. That's the kind of thing they'll like smooth out and take off that extra stuff around the edge. When they take it off, it'll be a flush weld.
Um, so there's not like a hole throughout the entire weld.
No,
Okay,
no.
that's what I thought it looked like. It looked like there was a hole throughout the entire weld. I'm like, that doesn't
Right.
seem sturdy.
And if you think about it now, when he said later on those Centaur tanks, you can't friction stir weld those,
Mm-hmm.
it's because of that reason. I mean, it's too thin, and you're just gonna wipe that stuff clean off. So if you think about the two thicknesses of them and like kind of play it out in your head, that's what it does.
I can't imagine the reaction of the person who found that out. You know, like they're like, "Oh, let's try this." And I'm like, it's just destroying it, dude. Stop.
I know, right?
What do you mean? Oh shit, it is.
So finally, the video ended at the end of the production line, and you can see uh, um, an Atlas core getting worked on. It had its engines installed in the bottom. You see people crawling around inside of it. You saw Delta cores lined up ready to go. I think Corey said there's like another Atlas core, which they never turned around and showed. But that leads us into our next topic
Yeah.
is what is on rocket ship right now?
You know what?
Because
Here's part of the reason why they couldn't show those atlases because they were probably in front of them, and all the avionics are on the front of those or any avionics.
yeah,
If
that's
there are some
that's a very real
avionics on there,
possibility.
but they might. Oh, I know all the main avionics are on the top of the Centaur, but there might be some stuff on there that's high tar. So
And yeah, that's very possible.
because you
That's
know
probably why
Dustin
they
would
did
have, Dustin would have showed that, but
exactly. But now that helps speculate what is on rocket ship. So
yeah, because
backing up a bit, two
let's.
days ago, rocket ship passed through New Orleans.
Mm-hmm.
I had some absolute crap pictures of them because that ship is not well lit at night. And I was horribly underprepared for it because, it was moving and settings and
Mm-hmm.
blah blah blah, and just here. Let me share my
Yeah,
screen of the
most
one picture I got of it.
most
Uh,
ships aren't really good at night. Oh, that's actually a really good picture.
it is, and that's with a
Yeah,
stupid high
most
ISO and everything like
yeah.
that.
I remember talking with
And
Julia when we were doing the port call for in-flight abort.
yeah,
Yeah, you play the ISO game. You just bump your ISO all the way up, and you might be able to
right.
see it. Luckily,
And
we had a news guy who had a massive light, and he just lit it right up for us, which is great.
yes, indeed. Well, uh, when we found out it was coming down the river, myself and another friend of mine on Twitter, Tyler, who's up in Baton Rouge, who you've met before,
Yep.
uh, he actually got Tori's attention, and we were like, oh, I wonder what's on it. Let's try and figure this out, and what's it going to be for? And I tried to do some homework. And like, all right, so obviously not a Delta 4 Heavy going to Florida because that's already there in vertical and has been for months. Not from Mars 2020. The AEHF one is there. Um, shit, I can't find which one it is. So finally, I just up and asked him, "Hey Tori, what's on rocket ship?" He's like, "I'll tell you when it gets there."
They're usually pretty secretive of what's on rocket ship
Yeah.
until it gets loaded off in this video of it. Um,
Well,
but this kind of brings up our final not launch our final launch provider ish.
well, it's now that once it gets off the Mississippi River, then you can tell where it's going.
Yeah.
And I knew if it said it was going to California, that's an automatic Delta.
Mm-hmm.
The Atlas does not go out of California at all,
Well,
but
they have the
it's
pad
going to
there.
Florida.
They've launched from
Yeah,
there in the past. They last time they launched, I think, was Insight.
Atlas
Yeah,
out of
Atlas.
California.
Yeah, Insight launched out of California on a 401.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'll take your word on that. Um, I just cannot remember any atlases going out of California, but you know what? You're probably right. Um,
Ooh, Wayward has a good
but
idea.
it's going to Florida, so that has me wondering what's on it, and what's it for?
Mm-hmm.
Because, like I said, the Atlas for Mars 2020 is there. Tori has said that. The AEHF one is there because they've said that. The Delta 4 Heavy is already there because we've seen that. Right? Everybody's seen that by now.
Yeah.
So it leads me to believe that there might be another Atlas on there for
Our
OFT 2.
Boeing, our favorite company on the stream.
God.
We love Boeing. Why am I
Okay.
singing? Okay.
So, all right. So Boeing
Boeing
had.
had
Go ahead.
a press conference or a teleconference, and
Again.
we don't have to talk much about it. We'll
Yeah,
just talk a little bit about it
they
because
basically reiterated. There wasn't too much newsworthy. It was
they
mostly
they
sound
talk about,
bites and
yeah,
things.
they try to, it was more or less to like, yo guys, no, we're fine, my company's fine, we're testing just fine. Let me switch back to my webcam, to both of our
Right.
webcams. It's like, but this is what the guy said, paraphrase quotes. I think they're pretty much, these are spot on quotes.
Right.
Trying to think of exactly what okay, so
And yes, real fast to Harry said in chat, something to remember, Destin takes his time on videos. I did take that into consideration, the fact that they had to hold on to those memory cards and check them out for a while. Considering all of that, I was assuming that it was probably done, you know, late last year. And
probably
rocket ship doesn't go
November
too
or
long.
so, early November, because he said
Yeah.
that he was talking about the dual Centaur engine. He said that's going to fly humans on there, and he said that we haven't flown a dual Centaur yet. So I'm like, this is obviously this is pre OFT then, obviously pre OFT,
Yeah.
because he said that when they were up in that little room looking over the clean room. But so Boeing talked about, they were kind of talking about their testing in this stream. It's kind of, I listened to it. It was very boring because it was just a teleconference.
I didn't get to finish. Oh, real fast, backing up. Rocket ship. I'm looking at it right now. Is due to hit Florida on the 5th at 6 p.m. But as of right now, I have an out of date position on it. Actually, 20 hours out of date, as a matter of fact. So as of right now, it says the 5th. I will try to be there to catch it coming into port, which will be weird, seeing the same ship twice in 4 or 5 days in 2 different places, 700 miles apart. So yeah. Anyway, back to our old friends at Boeing.
Yeah, they were talking about their oh, let's do the last thing. Wayward thinks it might be a Delta 2, which is also a very valid thing.
Oh yes.
It could be a Delta 2 on that boat, which I would be super excited for.
What? Oh, hold up.
Yeah.
Wayward, there. Oh, guys,
Who
scoop
does
that stuff up now.
Are you not surprised by Boeing selling their merchandise for their crewed flight before it happens? I'm not surprised at all.
I'm not really surprised, but I'm like, come on, guys, really?
That's just asking to be failed. But I'm not surprised it's Boeing. So they talk about, this is the guy said that he wants to iterate. I want to iterate that our team does not take shortcuts. That's what he said. And then before that, he was talking about how it's an emulator. It's like a simulator, not emulator. It's a simulator like that they can put the capsule on, and they I can't remember what the reason. I think they gave the reason that it had to go to the Cape before they could run this test. But
it went to the Cape for booster test. No, it was in.
Like, it was
New Mexico or something like that.
Okay, so there was two
issues.
issues.
On the West Coast.
There was 2 issues, so they explained why they missed these issues. So like they didn't run the full test with ULA from launch to I think it was to docking. They didn't do the full test, which as soon as he said that, I'm like, red flag. That's a shortcut. Like, there's a test you can do, and you didn't do it. That's what a shortcut is called. Not doing a test. And basically, then they didn't test. They didn't do. I don't think they actually didn't do that test that they did do with the flight. What's it called? The trunk. What is it called? Service module. They didn't do it with the flight hardware service module, which again, I'm like, that's a shortcut. Like, you should have tested it with flight hardware. You didn't do it. You didn't do the full test, and that's why if they said if they would have done those 2 tests, they would not have had those 2 issues.
Mm, yeah.
And I'm like,
If you were to just test, test like you're supposed to, Boeing.
it's like
God.
you say you're not doing shortcuts, but you just gave us two shortcuts you just did.
And I only listened to about half of it. Surprisingly, they didn't broadcast it live, but later in the day they put up a replay of it on YouTube where you could just listen to the audio of it.
Yeah.
And I listened to maybe about an hour of it or so. I never went back and finished it off. And when the guy was talking, I can't remember his name. I'm bad with things like that. Whenever he would answer a question, he sounded dodgy to it. Like he couldn't formulate, a full sentence to answer the damn question. He struggled with his words and things like that. He just couldn't get the answer out there. And you don't have to be super technical about it or anything like that, but you can give us some technical stuff. We're not terribly stupid. And those reporters and everything like that, they're smart enough to know what to say, to explain it to their readers, things like that. So to me, it sounded dodgy. It really did. And that does not, that does not make me confident in them at
I'm
all.
zero confident, and I'm even less confident in their 737 Max or 747. Like literally,
37.
yeah, I'm literally like at the point where once if I fly Southwest, and if you can see what plane before you book on Southwest.
Yeah.
If I see 737 Max, I'm like, I'll wait.
Well, they're all
I'll
still grounded.
yeah, but like once they start delivering them, I'm like, when there's like,
No.
I'll wait 2 years.
Yeah.
I'm not
Give
gonna
it
be
about.
that. I'm not gonna be the test puppy for them. Like I'm good. Not gonna do it.
They better
Um,
be their own test puppies for a while, honestly.
yeah, and I'm just like, no. Like
Mm-mm.
I'll find I'll find a different flight. I'll spend a couple $200 more for like a flight on American or a flight on United that doesn't have a 737 Max.
Exactly.
I'll fly Spirit like before I fly a
Oh,
737 Max. Like 100%.
that says something right there. If you're willing to fly
I'm
Spirit.
willing to fly Spirit before I fly on a 7. I'd rather spend $50 for no legroom, miserable conditions, horrible passengers on the plane who don't know how to fly before I die.
Right.
I'm like, I trust the 777. I trust the 737-800, but I don't trust the 737 Max. There
I
is
don't know my planes too well, but I know right now which one to watch out for. And
yeah,
it's that.
737 Max is the one you probably don't want to fly on for a while.
Exactly.
One last thing we didn't get to talk about, which I forgot to bring up we didn't even talk about before the stream. Earth has a
Uh-oh.
new moon. I
A
didn't
couple
read.
months old.
Yeah, I didn't really read the article. I just saw it, and I'm like, oh my god, we have a new moon! Yay!
I did like this. This would be a great meme of the week, but I don't have the time to go and find it right now. But
Oh, I think I
just
have.
people,
I have a meme of the week about moons,
do you?
which is
All
why I
right. Well,
brought this up.
okay. Well, I'll let. Yeah. All right. Go ahead and start us off on that this week.
So the meme of
Go
the
ahead.
week, you see it.
Yes.
I'll let you read it.
Yes.
The meme of the week. Let me transition over now to my
Oh
screen.
man.
Why is my screen not? Oh god, I have an issue.
Jesus.
I have an issue.
I have issues too. It was a great corn CD. But oh
Ah,
god, that was.
hold on.
Uh-huh.
Let me stop
Uh,
sharing.
I can see it. You're fine.
I know,
Or
but
is it on the wrong one?
they can't see it on mine. Okay, cool. Okay,
Oh.
cool. I just don't know. Did not know that was a thing. All right, so it's the hold up, hop up. So we got. Well, you have another one. Mars
I
speaking.
saw that.
Mars speaking to Earth. Mars with his 2 moons. Earth with his 1 moon. Earth replies, "Nah, too much responsibility. I don't want to end up like Jupiter." Picture of Jupiter with like 100, all of his moons, and it just looks dead.
Jeez. So, wow, that man. There's so much to say about that.
I
Like
looked at that
could
and
be
I'm
really
like,
bad.
I looked at that and I'm like, I know people who have like a lot of kids, and I'm like, yep, that's pretty much how they feel.
Yep.
Yep.
Yep. Actually, what I was getting to, actually, that was not the one I was getting to. Earth's new moon. Somebody said, I forget who it was. Some person who's smarter than us, I think an astronomer, said it was about the size of a car. And Elon says, wasn't me. Swear it wasn't me. But mine of the week, as we all know, um, the Starliner uh, press conference again that we just dealt with the other day. Eric Berger was there. He said at Boeing in Houston for an update on Starliner. Nice to see my space journalist friends via video at other sites around the country. John Krause says, are their video streams 11 hours behind? Zing!
Were there like only like big? I don't know who was all there at the because I don't remember hearing a question from Chris G.
I think they know better than to call on him nowadays. To be quite honest.
Well, the thing is, okay, so I remember quickly from it.
Have you seen his expression at other press conferences like this? Like he has. All right, so he has
is cold stone in press conferences. His face on his look is stone cold.
I'll tell you exactly what it is. Remember the Olympics 4 years ago? I think it was.
Yeah.
The gymnast Michaela Maroney, and she's on the podium.
She's unimpressed.
Yeah, she's not impressed. Chris G is not impressed. That's literally the face he has. Like,
Yeah, yeah. I've seen videos of him asking questions, especially
he's mean mugging.
He even does it with SpaceX, because even when he was trying to get like confirmation about the what is it, the automatic,
the anomaly.
No. Talking about in-flight abort, the flight termination software. He was trying to get it. Like, he was trying to get an answer. And he's like, the look on his face was like, you did not answer him. He was not happy with you. Like, I love it. It's great.
Oh my God. Hold up. I just came across something absolutely amazing. And it's from The Onion. Go figure. But you got to check this out. Oh, where to go. So The Onion says, more Americans opt to cut cord by building, launching own satellite into orbit. Look at this beautiful Photoshop job. Oh my God. I would be okay with this. Seth, please tell me you could see
Yeah, I have it on there. I just can't really see it though on the screen. You guys share it with we'll just do this. There we go. Oh yeah. It's an upside down Falcon Heavy, right?
No, that's a normal orientation Falcon
Oh
Heavy.
shit!
It's just in the middle of a damn
neighborhood. Now I see it.
I would live there. I am dumb enough. I would live there.
Yes, I want to die about the sound.
Oh man, but that just came up. I had to share that with the class. That was absolutely amazing.
Is that what we should call our viewers now, the class?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Sharing with the class.
Share with the class.
You're welcome, y'all.
I love my class. Our class is great.
Yes. So
that's it for the week. I think we have.
Yeah, that's so coming up this week, CRS-20 from 40, which is surprising because Starlink has been taking up a lot of Slick 40.
It's been hogging 40 to itself, but
it has been.
And I think I saw a tweet somewhere where they said that CRS-20 got a new upper stage, I believe.
Here's the funny thing. I actually read an article about this where the high frequency of launches that SpaceX is doing actually helps keep things in line because it had a bad second stage and they took a second stage from a Starlink and put it on there for CRS-20.
Yeah.
So that its schedule does not slip too much. So instead of losing a week or two, it only lost a couple of days because this was originally going up on the 4th, Wednesday. And now it's only slipped back to Friday.
It's my birthday. Which I will not be there for, sadly.
Oh, damn.
I will be in Detroit.
Ew.
Visiting my grandmother.
Oh, okay. That's awesome. Okay. Whew. Good save. But yeah, the fact that there's such a high launch cadence was actually able to save this from being delayed by weeks or months. It only lost 2 days. Now, the Starlink that they had to take it from, that was originally going to go on the 8th. As of right now, that date has still not been reset. So, I don't know. I may only be in town for one launch, but I've got
See,
at least 2 other ones planned for this month, so I'm not hurting. Plus, it's a
yeah.
Starlink. They're doing tons of them, but I was going to stick around for that Starlink, which was going to go from 39, which I've never seen anything lift off from 39 that I had a decent view of. Yes, I've seen a Falcon Heavy, but I was 17 miles away with you. That was
Hey, it was 13 miles.
Oh, 13.
13
13.
miles.
Because
Let's be.
that makes it so much better for pictures.
You see my picture of Arabsat. It's a great shot. You
That
get
was
different
during the day.
shots.
You had a lot of help during the day.
Yeah,
of that.
during night shots, I still suck at night shots. I can't do night shots.
Oh yeah.
I can't do it at all. My solar orbiter shots, I deleted all of them.
Oh yeah.
The only thing that I used was the streak.
It's like my rocket ship photos from the other day. It's like, why did I even bother with this?
I'm honestly thinking that if I actually get to move up there, I'm honestly thinking during night launches, not even take pictures of the rocket. Do a streak, but take pictures of the crowd.
Yeah.
That's
that
honestly probably what I'll do.
Yeah. Show off the crowd that's really interested in all this stuff.
Because I just can't figure it out. I don't know how. I'm just like, I'm giving up. I'm like, they're all blurry.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I have to get as much as I can whenever I go out there because, it's a drive for me. So
it's a drive. You'll move out here soon enough. We all know it. You know you want to. You know you want to.
I do, but I don't. Because I'm within reasonable driving distance of so many different, space company facilities. I'm within reasonable drive of Florida, North Alabama, Mississippi. Stennis is only an hour away. Michoud is only half-hour away.
How far away is Texas?
Johnson Space Center is 6 hours away, and Boca Chica is 10. The same drive time to Kennedy Space Center.
You gotta go out there more. You really do.
Where?
To the Boca Chica.
I will when I know for sure something's gonna happen.
I don't think that's ever gonna happen. Because what I've heard is that this is off the record. Not off the record, but this is like, I'm not going to...
Off the record to the whole world.
Not off the record, but it's like, it was in a private stream that...
We're still
some media people and a certain big person who sometimes does media, when they're going to be there for the...
I know where this is going.
They're going to rent... Well, no, they're going to rent a hotel for like, I think a whole month. They're going to get a hotel room for a whole month. Because they don't know when it's going to happen. They just did it for the whole month.
I would put in for that.
Well,
but it's probably full.
Yeah, it's full.
Yeah.
And the people who are going, you're not going to get in with them.
No.
I love you, but you're not going to get in with them.
Are you?
You're down here. You're way up. I'm maybe here. You're maybe here, and they're way up here.
I couldn't even see that scale, but I already know it. So.
Yeah, it's off the webcam. It's so far it's off the screen.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
No, I probably won't be able to. Though I have thought about if I get a remote job. Mm-hmm. SCLA. I should move to Cape Canaveral. That's like build that thing up. Hopefully, get there, be on the ground because Julia's super busy with her daytime job and NASA space flight. John's busy with his day job and Go Space Launch and the website. Like I go there, build content, do the launches, or I can move to Boca Chica.
I wouldn't do that just yet.
I mean,
Not yet.
If I work remote, I can work wherever the hell I want. I can also move to Virginia, near Wallops Island. Just move there. I could.
That's true.
I could.
That's true.
But
and we're gonna be making that trip.
We are gonna. I really hope. I really can't wait. I need to get my taxes done so I get my refund so I can.
Are you kidding? I got my refund a month ago, dude.
Yeah, I know. I was supposed to get it done like 2 weeks ago, and then 2 weeks ago, then I didn't get my tax stuff. Yeah, I'm still waiting for a piece of paper to come in the mail for me to do my taxes. So, yeah, that does it for the stream. Does it for the episode.
Yeah.
Thank you everybody for coming out. Wayward and Harry and I think I saw someone else. Nope. Hayward and Wayward, thanks for chatting up in the chat.
Yes, thank you.
Everyone who's listening, thank you so much for all the support. We actually got a 5-star review on iTunes.
Yay!
Woo!
Thank you to whoever that was.
I don't know who it is. They didn't post an actual review. They just rated it 5 stars. So
I'll take it.
I'll take it too. And I'll see you guys all. We'll see you guys all next week.
Yes. Peace out.
Peace out. All right, everyone on the stream, thank you again for coming out. And we're heading out. See you.